Well, hello and welcome to episode 14 of The Eagle's Nest, the audio retelling of Charlie Suprasinski's great book, Soaring with the Eagles, the Copper Peak story, the story of how ski jumping as a sport became famous on the Gogebic Range and in the Midwest and led to the development of Copper Peak, the beautiful ski flying complex that we see right in our area today. Well, in this episode, we're talking about the time period of 1956 or so to 1963. And what's going on this time period? Well, we know, of course, that the Korean War was over and was in the rearview mirror for most of us. A lot of the servicemen had returned and either come back to the Gogebic Range or found employment in some of the larger industries throughout the Midwest, especially the car industry. New cars had higher and bigger tail fins. TV towers started popping up on the roofs all over the Gogebic Range. The minimum wage was still hanging around $1 an hour, and a new house cost about $10,000. Gas was about 25 cents a gallon, and the average wage was about $4,000. But in the ski jumping world, the area was getting ready for the 18th annual Invitational Wolverine tournament that was set for February 12, 1956. Two Finnish skiers, Esko Momo and Pentti Jutinen, along with Olympian Billy Olsen of Eau Claire, highlighted the field of some 90 competitors. 15 local skiers had registered to compete. The list of entries was one of the strongest in recent years and included such standouts as Jerry Lewis of Duluth, the National Class B champion, and Willie Erickson of Iron Mountain, National Class C champion, Lloyd Severud of Eau Claire, who holds the national and central titles in senior class, and John Bednares of Iron Mountain, winner of several previous meets in Ironwood. Billy Olsen tucked the top honors, edging Esko Momo, who had the longest jump of the day of 211 feet by a single point. A veteran local official said Olsen's two jumps were the most perfect he had ever seen at Wolverine Hill, and that he believed Olsen's style points total was the highest ever attained by a skier here. The year 1956 was pivotal in several respects. While the number of skiers was declining in the Gogebic Range Ski Club, the Copper Peak project took on a new life as the club made the decision to secure financing for the project. Some 10 years of planning had gone into the effort to date, and it was time to move the project forward. Charles Santini, local attorney and recently elected a member of the club, gave a progress report on the 1956 annual meeting of the Gogebic Range Ski Club on the status of Copper Peak Ski Flying Hill project to some 40 members present. Several important meetings followed involving the Copper Peak Project Committee of the Gogebic Range Ski Club and community leaders in an attempt to secure the best way to finance the project. With a rapidly shrinking economy, the challenge of financing Copper Peak became more acute. We should note that the rapidly shrinking economy was kind of a local or regional event. In the larger cities, things were really going well, but due to low iron ore production and closing of mines, things were getting tough in our area. So it was going to be a challenge to get Copper Peak financed. In the 1957 ski season, Iron Mountain's John Bednares continued to rule Wolverine. The season started on January 20th at Wausau with strong performances by Ironwood skiers. Bob Carley placed first in Class A, while Class B, Mike Andraschi, Dave Forsberg, and Joe Lenitz placed first, second, and fourth. Clarence Mackey was a fourth-place winner in Class C. Dave Muckovitz had been skiing for several years in Class A and had done very well for a number of meets. And skiing now for Michigan Tech, he continued his success on the college level. For the first time in 3 years, the junior club sponsored a meet, this time at Quarry Hill in Aurora location. The junior club fell on hard times for several years, perhaps due to the loss of the slide at Burma Road. The Aurora Athletic Club stepped into the picture and made efforts to reorganize the junior program. Several new young competitors emerged on the junior jumping scene. In the event on Sunday, February 24, 1957, the winners were senior class Don Erickson, Class A Rodney Soika, Class B Dave Preddy, and Class C Dave Engstrom. A major change in the skier classification system was made for the 1957 season. All riders 18 years and under would compete in the junior class. Those over 18 and up to age 32 would compete in the senior class, and those over 32 years would compete in the veterans class. Ironwood would enter 8 skiers in the senior class and 6 in the junior class for the 19th annual tournament at Wolverine Hill set for March 10, 1957. Once again, John Bednarz of Iron Mountain, who seemed to own the Ironwood Hill, won top honors in the senior class, his 4th title at Wolverine. Ironwood's Bob Carley placed 6th in that class. The next best effort of an Ironwood skier was Bill Baudette's 8th place finish in a very strong junior class. Top honors of the day were won by junior class skier Jerry Lewis of Duluth. 1958 was the year that Quarry Hill was refurbished. The ski season started with the 2nd annual junior tournament at Quarry Hill on January 19th. 32 junior skiers participated in an event sponsored by the Aurora Athletic Club and was witnessed by 300 spectators. The winners included Rudy Soika in Class A, John Lindblad in Class B, and Jerry Soika in Class C. 1,000 spectators turned out to watch the 20th annual tournament at Wolverine Hill on Sunday, February 23, 1958, under ideal conditions with temperatures in the high 40s. Billy Olson, 1956 Olympian, captured top honors with a near-flawless performance in the senior class. He was challenged by a local favorite from Iron Mountain, John Bednarz. Don Packmeyer, returning to the sport after hiatus of several years, placed 5th in a strong senior class field. Rod Soika also had a 5th place finish in the junior class. There were approximately 50 skiers participating in the meet, a substantial drop in numbers from previous years. The 1958 season ended with a junior invitational tournament at Quarry Hill on March 9, 1958. A large crowd was on hand to witness some 100 junior skiers from Ishpeming, Iron Mountain, Channing, Duluth, and Ironwood compete for honors in 4 classes. Duluth sent 40 riders from the Chester Park and Birch Park ski clubs, while Channing sent 2 girls, Suzanne Feek, Class 2, and Janet Bonas in Class 3. Top honors were captured by Glenn Kudlaric of Duluth in Class 1, Linwood Hart Iron Mountain, Class 2, Dave Leitonen from Ishpeming in Class 3, and Jerry Soika Ironwood in Class 4. Other Ironwood winners included Dave Preddy, 4th in Class 1, John Lindblad and Bert Green, 3rd and 4th in Class 2, Alan Packmeyer, 3rd in Class 3, and Gary Engstrom, 4th in Class 4. Plans were also being made by the Gogebic Range Junior Ski Club to upgrade the Quarry Hill. Work commenced in the fall and was completed in time to host a competition in December of 1958. A new scaffold had been constructed, and the landing transition was lengthened to allow longer jumps. All the work had been done by club members except for the excavation work on the landing that had been donated by the city of Ironwood. In 1959, 110 junior skiers had registered for the Junior Invitational Meet set for the new Quarry Hill on February 8th. In addition to over 20 local junior jumpers, there are entries from Ishpeming, Iron Mountain, Palmer, Munising, Crystal Falls, Channing, Conover, Wisconsin, and Duluth, Chester Park, and Birch Park clubs. Dedication ceremonies have also been planned at the site of the new slide, which was erected through the combined efforts of the Ski Club, the Aurora Athletic Club, and the city of Ironwood here this past summer. But the number of riders to the meets at Wolverine Hill had been slowly diminishing over the years. Only 44 entries had been received for the 21st annual Wolverine tournament, set for February 22, 1959. 8 Gogebic Range riders were scheduled to compete, of which there were only 2 in the junior class. 1960 saw some junior skiers developing, and the Ironwood Chamber of Commerce was the sponsor of a snow carnival, which was to take place the week of February 14th through the 21st, 1960. Numerous events were planned, including queen selection and a snow sculpturing contest on Thursday, a high school basketball game between Ironwood and Ishpeming on Friday evening, dog races Saturday morning, and an invitational ski meet at Mount Zion on Saturday afternoon, and a junior ski jumping tournament at Quarry Hill Sunday afternoon. Top honors went to a Class 1 skier from Iron Mountain in the Junior Invitational Ski Jumping Meet held at Quarry Hill. That was all part of that Snow Carnival week. Ironwood skiers John Lindblad and Dave Engstrom placed second and third in the class. Alan Packmeyer of Ironwood won Class 2. Gary Engstrom placed fourth in Class 3, and Jerry Soika placed third in Class 4. Some 90 competitors entered the meet. Meanwhile, some 80 skiers had registered for the 22nd annual tournament at Wolverine Hill on March 13, 1960. Minneapolis skiers captured top honors in all 3 classes. Steve Reichel, winner at the senior class, had the longest jump of the day of 204 feet and was judged the most graceful rider. 57 riders participated in the 23rd annual tournament at Wolverine Hill on March 12, 1961. John Belfans of Minneapolis was the top honors in Class A and was judged the most graceful rider of the meet. And here's something a lot of you might not know. For a few years in the early 1960s, Upper Peninsula high schools included all 4 winter events as part of their competitions. Minnesota high schools competed in jumping for many years, and it is believed the only area to support ski jumping today on the high school level is on the East Coast. In 1961, on March 1st, Ironwood High School captured the 10th annual UP High School Ski Championships. This is the first time in the 10-year history of the regional high school championships in the Upper Peninsula that one school, Ironwood, captured first place in all 4 events. 1962 saw a few active jumpers. The number of ski jumpers in both the junior and senior clubs was in rapid decline. There's no evidence that either club sent skiers to compete in Midwest competitions other than those sponsored by the local clubs. The rapidly deteriorating economic conditions in this area forced many potential young skiers to seek employment outside of the area. In 1962, only 4 Ironwood skiers participated in the 24th annual Wolverine Hill tournament on March 12th. All but 1 were in the veterans class. The field of competitors, however, was very strong, with some 107 riders registered to compete. Highlighting the skiers were 2 Finnish jumpers, Pekka Turkkanen and Timo Kivala, and the Central Division senior class champion Gene Kutlerik of Duluth. The economy of the Gogebic Range was in a free fall since World War II. Iron ore mines were systematically closing as costs to mines were becoming less competitive with open pit operations. The population was similarly dropping rapidly in the area as families looked for work outside the area. As of 1962, there were just a few very deep mines in operation compared to the several dozen that existed in the boom years following World War I. In spite of declining numbers of skiers within the organization, the Gogebic Range Ski Club finally received good news that funding for the Copper Peak project had been approved. The momentous day was May 2nd, 1962. No doubt this news injected a new air of optimism in the club and motivated members to continue to strive to reach their dream of building the first ski flying hill in the U.S. 1963, you could say, was the end of an era. It was a quiet year for the ski jumping sport on the Gogebic Range. Declining numbers of skiers combined with the collapsing economy locally dampened efforts. It appears no Gogebic Range Ski Club skiers were sent to compete at Midwest venues, as most of the active members were in the veterans class. One bright spot was the Copper Peak project, which was gaining momentum. Range skiers, however, had some success at the community college in a rare four-way event. The headlines of the Globe said that the Gogebic Community College, GCC, captures Nordic jumping crown in CISA tourney here. Gogebic Community College won the jumping crown, but Notre Dame captured the Nordic combined trophy Saturday in the Central Intercollegiate Ski Association meet held here last weekend. The cross-country race was held at Indian Head Mountain, and the jumping competition was staged at Quarry Hill. In adding the jumping title to the downhill and slalom crowns they won Friday, Coach Theron Peterson's GCC skiers took the team championship in 3 of 4 events. In each of these 3 events, GCC skiers also captured the individual championships, with Paul Mascotti winning the downhill and slalom titles and Alan Packmeyer the jumping crown. Packmeyer took first place with leaps of 89 and 95 feet. GCC also won the next 3 places, with Dave Berlin finishing second, Richard Tallow third, and Don Hakkinen fourth. On Wednesday, March 14, 1963, came a surprising announcement in the Daily Globe. The headline read, "No ski tourney to be held here." No ski tournament will be held at Wolverine Hill this year. It was decided by the Gogebic Range Ski Club at its meeting Tuesday night. A number of reasons were given for not holding the annual event. Economic conditions in the area and the poor condition of the Wolverine Hill slide were cited as reasons for canceling the event. And, wouldn't you know, a totally unexpected news release appeared on an obscure page of the Daily Globe on Wednesday, April 17, 1963. The headlines read, "Wind topples ski scaffold." Heavy winds blew down most of the Wolverine ski scaffold in Section 12 road between Ironwood and Bessemer sometime last night. Members of the Gogebic Range Ski Club reported Earl Minkin, who was a member of the club, said he had been told that the scaffold was partway down, but had not been out to the site since the incident occurred. Minkin also said that the club had been planning to dismantle the structure in the near future because it was deemed to be unsafe. Would it be possible to regenerate the sport in an area presently in a downward economic cycle with a rapidly diminishing population? This is the central issue facing the Gogebic Range Ski Club in 1963. One positive reality was that the Copper Peak project was moving forward. It would, however, demand a great deal of time and energy from a board of directors who were getting up in years. Time would show that the board would concentrate its efforts on the Copper Peak project. The felling of the Wolverine scaffold did preserve an important tidbit of history. The hill record set by Torger Tokel of 216 feet in 1942 would forever be preserved at Wolverine Hill in the annals of ski jumping sport. For that record to withstand the challenges of the best ski jumpers in the country for 21 years is a true testimonial to the talents of this incredible athlete. It compares to the challenges to baseball's great home run hitter Babe Ruth. His record of 60 home runs was set in 1927 and wasn't broken by Roger Maris until 1961, a span of 34 years. This is not the first time Mother Nature dampened the spirits of the area ski jumping community. On 3 other occasions, wind felled the scaffolds on the Quarry Hill site in 1914 and 1930, and I do believe in 1940 the Wolverine Hill was blown down by a high wind. On all 3 occasions, the community rallied around the promoters of the sport, and the ski jumping community made successful comebacks. Well, that about does it for this episode of The Eagle's Nest. Please join us again next time when maybe we'll take a little bit of a break from the chronology of all of the ski meets and step aside a little bit and talk about how the people who were the movers and creators of Copper Peak decided that they would have to continue on and do the best job they could to keep the dream alive despite all the challenges that they ran into. It's really amazing how they kept the dream going in spite of all the barriers that they had from the economy and low funding levels, that kind of thing. And don't forget, you can find our episodes on YouTube. Just use the search terms Copper Peak Eagle's Nest, and you can visit our streaming site by using the search engines like Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever you have, and search Copper Peak episodes. Episodes start on the half hour, and we're also at Copper Peak Radio 102.1 FM if you're in the area at 6:08 a.m. and p.m. and 11:08 a.m. and p.m. Charlie's book, Soaring with the Eagles, The Copper Peak Story, is available at the Depot in downtown Ironwood and the Downtown Art Place in downtown Ironwood, of course. This is your narrator, Dan McManman, saying thanks for listening and see you next time. Bye now.